Teenager who they say made threats to shoot up his school, allegedly saying, "I will vow to bring my father's M15 to class." Also tonight, 2 other alleged threats in 2 different states, what we know. Also tonight, the search for this man who police say showed up at a college campus and killed a former administrator. What they found under the victim's car, the bag, and what was inside. The severe weather threat right now, 3 tornadoes just confirmed. The storm's moving from the Midwest to the East Coast at this hour, and Rob has the track. The massive search right now for 2 firefighters lost at sea. What authorities have found. President Trump tonight asked about a possible recession because of his trade war with China. The president suggesting a 2-month recession could be the result of a much-needed trade war. Meantime, the race for 2020 and what Joe Biden's wife, Dr. Jill Biden, is saying about her husband, her main argument for 2020. The American father accused of killing a hotel worker, he says he was defending his family, returning to that Caribbean island to face manslaughter charges tonight. He says he would do it again. The outrage, a room full of teenagers appearing to give the Nazi salute, major questions about the school's response. And your health tonight, new guidelines for gene testing when it comes to breast cancer and ovarian cancer.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a very busy Tuesday night. And we begin tonight with a disturbing new headline after El Paso and Dayton tonight. News of 3 new threats. 3 new arrests. Authorities say these threats of mass shootings in 3 separate states. Police in Florida handcuffing this 15-year-old boy with his mother by his side. He's accused of threatening to take his father's assault-style weapon to school to shoot several other people. These new arrests come on the heels of 3 other threats, at least a half dozen in the last week. The FBI warning about a rise in domestic terror and possible copycat shooters, and authorities believe this is proof of that. ABC's Victor Oquendo leads us off.
You're watching police body cam video of a 15-year-old Florida boy whose face has been blurred being arrested in front of his mother by 2 officers for allegedly threatening to shoot up his school. Authorities reading that threat aloud to the teen and his mother.
I, Dalton Barnhart, vow to bring my father's M15 to school and kill 7 people.
He doesn't do anything wrong. Yes, he's 15, but he's still a little boy, and he's not one of the crazy people out there doing stuff.
Tonight, police releasing the 15-year-old's mugshot, which we've blurred. His comment was reported to the FBI. A written threat is a second-degree felony in Florida. Across the country, police say they've potentially thwarted several mass shooting threats. In Indianapolis, 38-year-old truck driver Thomas Matthew McVicker was arrested. Authorities say they stopped him less than a week before he planned on attacking a church in Memphis. In the criminal complaint, police saying McVicker said, "I was thinking about shooting a church up, but I'm afraid how it will affect my family in the flesh after I'm gone." And in Seattle, 35-year-old Eric Lynn was arrested for allegedly writing on Facebook that he would kill all Hispanics in Miami and other places. These 3 arrests make at least 6 mass shooting threats in the last few days, including 20-year-old James Reardon from Ohio, who police say threatened to shoot up a Jewish community center and posted this disturbing video on his Instagram. And this dramatic police body cam video.
Do you have any weapons we need to know about?
Capturing the moment Florida officials arrested Tristan Wicks in Daytona Beach after he allegedly texted his girlfriend his intentions to shoot as many as he could, writing a good 100 kills would be nice.
Victor Oquendo with us live tonight. And Victor, authorities I know are on high alert in the wake of these recent mass shootings across the country. And do we know any motives in any of these cases yet?
Well, David, while we know the FBI warned of potential copycats after El Paso and Dayton, no motives have been revealed in any of these 6 cases. Authorities questioning them all tonight, and they continue to urge the public to be on the lookout. David?
Victor, thank you. And now to the urgent manhunt in California at this hour. A suspect wanted for the stabbing death of a former administrator at Cal State Fullerton. Surveillance tonight showing the suspect right there dressed in black, running from the scene in a parking lot. And what police found under the victim's car, the suspect's backpack, and what they found inside. ABC's Adrienne Bankert from California tonight.
Tonight, police releasing the surveillance video of who they say is a killer on the loose. The first images of the suspect in a violent homicide on the Cal State Fullerton campus. Authorities say this video shows the suspect running from the parking lot where 57-year-old Stephen Chan, a retired college administrator who was working as a consultant on campus, was found on Monday, bleeding to death from multiple stab wounds. Police tonight releasing this sketch of the suspect, an Asian man in his mid-20s with black hair wearing dark clothing. He was seen driving off in this black, newer model BMW. Officers using bloodhounds to scour the scene.
This was a targeted killing. Sadly, we believe that the suspect came here specifically with the intent to harm the victim.
Police also say they found a backpack underneath the victim's car.
Inside the backpack was an incendiary device. Also found inside the backpack were multiple items that one would potentially use to kidnap somebody.
Those items reportedly include zip ties and wigs. And David, police say that they believe the killer has cuts and lacerations to his own hands. Investigators say that anyone connected to the victim right now is considered a possible suspect. David?
Adrian Bankert reporting in. Adrian, thank you. Now to the severe storm threat at this hour. Damaging winds, hail, and possible tornadoes from Nebraska all the way to the East Coast. In fact, 3 confirmed tornadoes damaging homes in Iowa, including one touching down in Lacona. At least one was an EF1. They confirmed these twisters just a short time ago. Down power lines, catching fire. These images from Burlington County, New Jersey. Those storms moving into the east tonight and the northeast tomorrow. So let's get right to meteorologist Rob Marciano. Of course, as always, tracking it all for us. Hey, Rob.
Hi, Dave. Another active night of summer storms. Several frontal boundaries sparking this heat and humidity. We got a watch box that's up for our nation's capital. Check it out on the radar scope there. It includes Baltimore. Another one includes much of Kentucky. That one has a pretty strong front that's pushing those storms, and that front will be on the move tomorrow. So storms along that front and closer to the warm front here in the northeast, where the zone for potentially damaging storms will be from Philly to New York through much, if not all, of New England. Dangerous lightning as well. David?
Rob Marciano tonight. Thank you, Rob. Next this evening, the massive search intensifying at this hour for 2 missing firefighters lost at sea off the coast of Florida. Our camera on board just one of the dozens of boats helping to search over 4 full days now. The men vanished while fishing, and some of their equipment has now been recovered. ABC's Steve Osinsami is in Florida tonight.
More than 200 volunteers and 75 boats are out in the Atlantic Ocean tonight looking for any trace of the missing firefighters. Many of the searchers are firefighters themselves, some from the same firehouse in Jacksonville, Florida, where Brian McClooney was a 6-year veteran.
He would be right out here searching for anybody that was missing as well. So
McClooney and his friend Justin Walker went fishing Friday and are last seen here in this image from a security camera.
You're holding hope. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. This is a rescue mission.
Walker's wife is seen here today getting on a search plane.
I need to be up there, feel like I'm searching too.
The search area is beyond massive. The 2 men left from Port Canaveral, hours south of Jacksonville. Authorities are now searching as far as 100 miles north of this area and another 70 miles east into the ocean. On Monday, a volunteer found this tackle bag that belongs to one of the missing firefighters, but it was more than 100 miles from where the men went missing. Stephanie McClooney hopes that her husband put the bag in the water on purpose, like a breadcrumb to his location.
He strategically took out heavy items. He only had things that he knew we could identify.
There's a bit of talk here about a debris field, but authorities here say they can't put too much stock into that because there's plenty of trash in the ocean. They do say they have recovered the cover of a cooler that might belong to the 2 men. David?
All right, Steve Osinsami in Jacksonville. Thanks, Steve. Now to President Trump tonight, who today was asked about a possible recession because of his trade war with China. The president conceding a, quote, 2-month recession, in his words, could be the result of what he describes as a much-needed trade war. The president also contradicting his own aides, who said there was not a payroll tax cut in the works, but what the president said today when asked. Here's ABC senior White House correspondent Cecilia Vega tonight.
President Trump today defending his trade war with China, saying it's worth it even if it hurts the economy.
Whether it's good for our country or bad for our country short term, long term, it's imperative that somebody does this. I am doing this whether it's good or bad for your statement about, oh, will we fall into a recession for 2 months, okay? The fact is somebody had to take China on. And the smart people say thank you very much. And the dumb people have no idea.
The president standing his ground despite growing concern his trade war could help bring on a recession. A new study today says the president's 10% tariff on Chinese goods could cost American families an additional $1,000 each year. The White House now trying to tamp down economic fears during a re-election campaign, but their messaging far from consistent. This morning, aides insisted a payroll tax cut is not on the table.
Is a payroll tax cut being considered? It's not being considered at this time.
But just hours later,
payroll tax is something that we think about, and a lot of people would like to see that, and that very much affects the workers of our country, and we have a lot of workers.
Still, the president insists there will not be a tax cut anytime soon. He's promised tax cuts before for the middle class ahead of last year's midterms, only to abandon the idea after Election Day.
Let's get right to Cecilia Vega. She's live at the briefing room tonight because there was a lot of news out of the White House today. As you know, Cecilia, President Trump also making headlines with new attacks tonight. Again, Congresswoman Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib as well. The president recently, of course, pressured Israel into trying to block the congresswoman from visiting today. As you know, he said this.
Where has the Democratic Party gone? Where have they gone where they're defending these two people over the state of Israel? And I think any Jewish people that vote for a Democrat, I think it shows either a total lack of knowledge or great disloyalty.
Cecilia, made immediate headlines.
Oh, David, it certainly did, particularly from some of the country's largest and most prominent Jewish organizations. The head of the Anti-Defamation League says that it is time to stop using Jews as political footballs. He says charges of disloyalty have long been used to attack the Jewish people. And David, tonight from the American Jewish Committee, they're calling these comments, quote, divisive, disrespectful, and unwelcome.
Cecilia Vega, always good to have you. Thank you. And the new headline tonight in the race for 2020, Joe Biden's wife, Dr. Jill Biden, and what she said about her husband, even if he's not your favorite candidate, that should not be the deciding factor, according to her. Here's Mary Bruce.
Jill Biden with a blunt appeal to voters.
You may like another candidate better, but you have to look at who is going to win.
Her pitch, even if you're not with Joe Biden on every issue, you should support him anyway if you want to beat Trump.
You know, your candidate might be better on, I don't know, health care than Joe is. But you've got to look at who's going to win this election. And maybe you have to swallow a little bit and say, okay, I sort of personally like so-and-so better. But your bottom line has to be that we have to beat Trump.
In Iowa today, the former vice president asked about his wife's comments.
She was making the case you should pick the person you think could win because none of our issues will matter if Donald Trump wins. That was the point she was making.
It's also the point he's making in his first campaign ad.
We have to beat Donald Trump. And all the polls agree Joe Biden is the strongest Democrat to do the job.
Mary, any reaction tonight from the other Democratic candidates?
Well, David, no response directly to Joe Biden's comments, but Biden's opponents say they can beat Trump, too. They argue that voters don't have to make this choice, that they can follow their principles and still defeat the president. David?
Mary Bruce, live in Washington. Thanks, Mary. Now to major developments tonight in the Jeffrey Epstein case. 3 more alleged victims today suing his estate, claiming they were recruited and sexually abused. And 2 say it happened while he was under house arrest and during work release, while he was wearing an ankle bracelet. Here's Lindsay Davis.
Tonight, 3 new accusers are taking aim at the estate of Jeffrey Epstein, including 2 women who claim they were coerced into sex with Epstein during his work release back in 2009. The alleged incidents took place at his office and his home, while Epstein was even wearing an ankle monitor.
He was having office visitors, some who were flown to him from New York, and continuing to engage in similar conduct literally while he was in quote-unquote jail.
One accuser claims she was 17 when she was first groomed by Epstein in New York back in 2007. During the same time, he was under federal investigation for alleged sex crimes against more than 30 minor girls. It comes as we're learning new details about Epstein's will, signed just 2 days before his suicide. His estate, valued at nearly $578 million, including $56 million in cash and $18 million in planes, cars, and boats. The value of his collection of artwork and antiques still subject to appraisal. Epstein's sole surviving relative is his brother Mark.
Now, we know that Epstein set up a trust. We just don't know who the beneficiaries are. But we do know that many of these alleged victims were seeking justice, and now they won't get a criminal trial against Epstein by filing some of these lawsuits. Their attorneys are going after those assets, David.
Lindsay Davis with us again tonight. Lindsay, thank you. Now to a high school in California under fire tonight just before the start of the new school year. Disturbing new video appearing to show teenagers giving a Nazi salute. The Garden Grove School District says it happened last November at an off-campus banquet. The school telling ABC News tonight it became aware of the video months later and, quote, it strongly condemns the behavior, though school officials are refusing to say how they handed out any punishment. There is still much more ahead on World News Tonight this